Dutch teacher forced into hiding over blasphemous Islamic cartoon. It's in Rotterdam, Netherlands. Police in the Netherlands are investigating threats made against a teacher who had hung a cartoon commenting on the 2015 Charlie Hebdo attack in his classroom. The drawing had hung in the classroom for some 5 years, but it was not until the school had held a memorial for murdered French teacher Samuel Paty that it became a contentious issue. Recently, a group of girls demanded that the teacher remove the picture from the board because they said it was blasphemous. The teacher explained that the cartoon was not of Mohammed, but of just general jihadi. The Dutch newspaper NRC reports that more teachers at the school, Emmauscollege, fear for their safety, and according to their sources, the teacher in question has gone into hiding. So I wanted to highlight this news because I would want more people to be aware of how the threats and the risks that teachers undertake seems especially bad across Europe, just teaching Enlightenment values. So, to give further context, this teacher had a display in his classroom that was supposed to be kind of a conversation starter, right? And so, as there was other stuff on the board, but part of this board was this cartoon, and the cartoon showed a man dressed in black robes with a black kind of turban-y thing, or it looked more like the wrap that Shias wear, and he's carrying like basically a large sword or meat cleaver that's all bloody, and he looks shocked, and he's bearded because he looks shocked because there is a person wearing a shirt that says Charlie Hebdo on it, their head is gone, and they have their neck hole open, pulling the neck hole open with the tongue sticking out, as if being like, Nana, like, you might have beheaded me, but I'm sticking my tongue out at you, you know?
I know which one you're talking about.
And, and below the cartoon, in the word, there was a single word below it, and the word translates to immortal, meaning like, you know, you can come after me, but the jihadi is shocked because even though you've beheaded me, I'm sticking my tongue out at you. Like, you're not going to keep me in fear. You're not going to draw red lines about my expression. I'm going to even beheaded, I am still mocking you, right? And so you
can't kill free expression.
Free expression is immoral.
You can, because this teacher had to go in hiding. In Netherlands,
that's what the cartoon is trying to say.
Like, I know. I'm not responding. I'm not questioning you. I'm not questioning you, Rivka, but I'm just frustrated of how much dominance these people have.
Oh, it's worse than that. Yep. I mean, they've got 100,000 people have signed a petition set up by this imam who making calls for insulting Muhammad to be a criminal offense. And this was launched after another imam in Amsterdam told a newspaper that he thought that there had to be laws limiting the freedom to insult Islam. And he said, insults against Islam have created very negative dynamics and a poisonous atmosphere in society, with all the risk that entails. He said, we have to leave this behind, and we will get nowhere if we continue to point to free speech and being able to say what you like. It is as if there is a competition to insult Islam as much as possible. So he's made 2 threats in there, as far as I'm concerned. The risk that entails, and we'll get nowhere. And being able, so basically, what you need to accept these beheadings or these, jihadist attacks, or submit to blasphemy laws, and you're not allowed to insult Islam. That's basically what he's saying.
Yes. So, again, this is in the Netherlands, you guys. Like, it's absolutely wild. Like, through just members of this teacher's own community, they have to go into hiding. So police told the NRC, again, that's the Dutch newspaper, that direct threats were made against the teacher and they were taking them very seriously. Quote, "We are in close contact with the school and taking visible and hidden security measures," according to a statement on Twitter. MPs and ministers were united in their outrage, with Education Minister Ari Slob saying it is, quote, "completely unacceptable that teachers are put under pressure because they teach about the value of freedom of speech. The intimidation of teachers will not be tolerated in any way whatsoever," Slob said. "We are taking tough action against it." And then, the article goes on to highlight the petition set up by a local imam calling to make insulting Mohammed a criminal offense. This attack on freedom of speech and Enlightenment values goes far beyond France, and the people far beyond French citizens are also paying the price for teaching about the value, the foundational value of liberal society. And it's completely unacceptable. And it's not even Mohammed. It's not even Mohammed. And just
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't
matter if it's Mohammed. No, but this whole this not even Mohammed. It doesn't really matter if it's Mohammed or not. Okay, these people are. But no, okay. Can I at some point be able to get something to say as well?
Okay, go ahead.
These idiots are giving, like, they're negotiating with people who are intimidating us, and I'm not talking about the people who are actually doing the beheading. Like, we're focusing, like, a lot of people, like, oh, these like the actual people that are using violence, they are a fringe group, but that is not the main people that we need to worry about, because everybody can get on the bandwagon of, oh yeah, violence is bad. Everybody is going to be on the right side of this, except some fringe groups, okay? But the reaction to all of this, even after we have, like, people being killed, more people seem to be more worried about who we're offending, who's upset about cartoons, more than actually protecting civilians from harm. Okay, and protecting Enlightenment values and people's freedom of expression. And it seems like even the people, 1 second, please. It seems like even the people that are on the side of freedom of expression, they're having a conversation. They seem to be negotiating with the people who are wanting to intimidate us, right? Fuck all you all. Like, we need to, there is no we had this conversation about these values 200 years ago. And we already showed that these ideas work 500 years ago, right? But we have already proven beyond reasonable doubt that these are ideas that work, okay? And you could have this you're free to have this conversation about these, okay? But we don't give in. You could complain. Nobody's going to stop you from complaining, but we don't negotiate with like people who try to intimidate us. We don't. This is not a conversation from our part anymore. You could keep complaining about it, but to give in to that for people, like, go get fucked. Like, we need, like, the people are like, oh, let's have, like, oh yeah, cartoons are okay. Like, no, I'm web, but people are upset. We need to double down on this. Like, there needs to be, like, people shouldn't going in hiding. People shouldn't be like, oh yes, this is sad that this teacher had to go and hide. No, every fucking teacher in the school need to be hanging out their own cartoons up. Like, why is this even a discussion right now? How is this, like, how are people letting Islam dominate their lives in non-Islamic countries? Like, we're supposed to be freeing non-Islamic countries from religious dominance, and now we're looking at free countries, and in free countries, people are being intimidated by the backlash they could get from expressing their views. And there's not enough people coming out and like, no, you don't get to do this shit. There's not enough people coming in and be like, oh, you think you could intimidate us? Well, here's 1,000 times more. You know who's doing that, by the way? We're doing that, okay? We are doing that without the platforms that these motherfuckers have. We're doubling down, and they're taking down our accounts left and right. We're losing. We'll update you on that, but right. But this is why are they not doing that? These are like the countries that are supposed to be leading the way when it comes to protecting freedom of expression and enlightenment values, and they're cowering in. And they're going back and they're like, well, can we have a conversation? Fuck the conversation. Here's the fucking cartoons. Is this what you didn't want? Here's 1,000 more of the same things that you. Why are we losing? This is such an easy battle to win. And why are we losing it? All you have to do is draw more cartoons. And express exactly the things that they're telling you not to express. That's how easily we could win this. We have to tell them that if you try to scare us out of saying things, it has to backfire on them. We have to show them like, hey, the people that are doing the beheadings, those are not the only terrorists that we don't negotiate with. There are other forms of terrorizing that we also don't negotiate with. And those other forms, there are more of them. All right? And we don't negotiate with you either for the same goddamn reasons. For the same reason we don't negotiate with terrorists, we don't negotiate with you for the exact same reasons. Because if we do, you're being taken seriously. Like, these are the people. Again, I'm not saying they shouldn't be able to complain. They could complain. I'm not going to sit on a table and have a conversation with them because that's taking their butthurt too seriously. If I said with them and like, hey, let me tell you, oh, no, please let us draw cartoons, that is taking these motherfuckers too seriously. They're like, no, here's a fucking cartoon. I'm going to hang it. There's nothing you can do about it, motherfucker. That's how the conversation you have with these people. Anyways, I'm going to stop.
I'm in agreement with you. I mean, you don't argue and get with this because they're just going to drag you into the gutter with them, and they have more experience and they're going to be more of a victim. And then you are sucked into the argument about, well, can we at least have a cartoon that's not Mohammed? And, and no, because then they are controlling the narrative. They are framing the debate. There is no debate. You don't like it, then don't look at it. End of story.
I do want to mention that, no, I don't agree with David. I see the right wing rising eventually. I will stand right there with them if it's necessary. I do not want that. I do not want that because they're also against enlightenment values. Part of our failure is letting these some of these right wing groups, and again, not all of them, but some of them, take this conversation away from us because we have failed so much at standing up against the bullshit of Islam that they steal that away from us. We're not going to let them have it because they come with their own fucking poison, right? We're not going to let them spread their poison in the name of defending us from Islam. We need to do a better job in defending ourselves from Islam so that they can't steal this conversation away from us. And if they do, we have to stand guard against them as well. Anyways.
I absolutely agree. I think you're right. I think there's been a void about people standing up for all of this, not just Islam, but all of this religious privilege, this lack of being supportive of free expression, enlightenment values, all these things. And that void ends up getting filled with fascists.
Exactly. Yes.
Let's talk about it.
All right. Thank you for joining us. Subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell thingy. If you haven't, I don't know why. What's holding you back? Okay. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, why haven't you subscribed to our channel? Explain that to us, please. Like, bell, and also if you're not getting notifications and stuff because YouTube is not telling people that we have shows because YouTube is like, oh, this person told us that they want to get your shows, right? They want to get your videos, but nah, we think is no. And they also hit the bell button, but nah, you guys are too controversial. We want to show them mainstream stuff. We want to show them CNN or cat videos or whatever. But people are like, no, we want to see Atheist Republic. And YouTube is like, no, we don't think you want this. They're like, no, please show it to us. We say to you, we want to see Atheist Republic. And YouTube is like, no, we think we know what's better for you than you yourself. So, to solve that, there's a link in the description, which is to our newsletter. So hopefully we could email it to you. So hopefully you get some of our content that way, okay? So, yeah. subscribe to our newsletter as well, and share our videos, because we do get demonetized. That's an obvious on every one of our videos. So F that. But we don't care about that anymore. But we also get deprioritized, and that's even more damaging to us. Deprioritized. What does that mean? That means we don't show up on the suggested, videos on the right, and all that, on people's homepages. And that's how channels grow. Unfortunately, we can't grow. So we need you guys to share our videos.